Nope. I gotta show off all the stuff I've bought since the end of last season. Definitely had a bit of a spending problem. All right. I think that's all of them. Well, our season ends. No repeat this year. In the words of J Wad, no magic fairy dust this time. And realistically, I did not see us repeating as defending Super Bowl champions. I did not see us winning the Super Bowl yet again with a quarterback coming back from a major ACL injury and LCL, and a secondary that didn't really improve that much compared to last season. And I think any non-biased or realistic fan could see that we won the Super Bowl last year despite our secondary. And some would say despite our defensive coordinator. And I know that's a bit of an elephant in the room after this game against the Saints. However, I have not been a big fan of Jim Schwartz this season. I understand he's had a lot of injuries, but his coverages are just too predictable, however you want to put it. He hardly blitzes, and I understand that our corners aren't really that good. They're young and they're inexperienced, but they just go so long without even trying to blitz. It's just ridiculous. And I know some people in the fan base are saying that we should have won the game and we would have beat them if we had scored just one more touchdown. However, the way the Saints were playing in that game, I really felt like they could have scored more than 20 if they wanted to. I really do. Drew Brees was basically able to do anything he wanted to our secondary at the end of that, towards the end of that game. He was able to move the chains on third and long time after time. And I really feel like if he wanted to stretch the field, he would have. So the whole, if we had scored one more time, we would have won case is just, I don't see it. I'm really not like some of these other fans who just live off this fan fiction and say, oh, if we would have done this, we would have won. Oh, if this certain person here would have stayed healthy, we would have won, all that crap. I'm not like that. I'm really not. The Saints were the better team, and it just seems like we can't really beat the Saints. Now, as far as how I feel now that the season's over, well, I can't say I miss this feeling, but the feeling of hopelessness isn't really there. I do realize that we were definitely not the best team in the NFL. I know we were going off momentum. We had plenty of chances to win that game in New Orleans, but the Saints pulled it off. We didn't win, and this is how it goes. Another loss to the Saints in the playoffs. And it does kind of, I guess I am a little bitter because of how much crap the Saints were talking in the offseason about how they would have beaten us had they beat Minnesota. Well, they didn't. They didn't beat us. Favorable matchups happen sometimes for Super Bowl champions. In all three of Ben Roethlisberger's Super Bowl runs, he never once had to play Tom Brady, or his team never had to once play Tom Brady. The Giants did not have to play the Saints in the 2011 season. The Colts didn't have to play the Chargers in 2006. And there's plenty of other favorable matchups that have happened for eventual Super Bowl champions. So it really doesn't faze me in the long run that we didn't play the Saints. With all that being said, I do understand we had a good run. Hooray. Good for us. We didn't wind up like the 1999 Broncos and have a horrible season afterwards. We didn't look like the Broncos in 2016 and look horrible. We didn't look like the Steelers when they missed the playoffs the years after they won the Super Bowl. Yes, I understand. There were definitely some defending champions that had some embarrassing ends to their season. We didn't look like the 2010 Saints and lose to some horrible Seahawks team. They made the playoffs because their division was horrible. I get that. The run was great. It was fun. However, moving forward, this offseason is going to be pretty interesting to follow because there is some question marks moving forward as far as Nick Foles goes. As I said in my last video, I'm always going to be grateful for what he did for this franchise. You saw how emotional I was after that game. But moving forward, Nick Foles is probably not going to be an Eagle, and he really shouldn't be. He deserves to be a starter. After the Cinderella performances he had to close the season back-to-back seasons. So realistically, I would like to franchise tag him and try to trade him to a team like Miami or Jacksonville. Anyone who knows me personally knows that I'm engaged to be married. And if Foles goes to Miami, I definitely want to go to that Dolphins Eagles game in Miami next season. And as far as Carson Wentz goes, the main thing I want to say about Wentz is he better stay healthy next year. He better stay healthy. I do not think we should pay him his big contract this offseason. I don't care what the Dallas Cowboys do with Dak Prescott. If Dak Prescott gets a big contract, sorry, I don't think Wentz should get one. I don't care about what other teams they're doing. I care about what my team does. And Wentz, in his 2 out of 3 seasons in the NFL, have been full of injuries. However, I do understand that Wentz I do understand that Wentz was most likely not himself. He did show some signs of greatness in some of his games. The Colts game I was at, you definitely saw a little bit of 2017 Wentz here and there, but you could tell there were definitely times where his release time wasn't as great. He wasn't able to stretch the field as well. He just didn't have like the confidence that he had last season. He definitely gave me some flashbacks of how Donovan McNabb looked in his season coming off of a torn ACL. So anybody who wants to give Wentz a pass this season, that's perfectly fine. But it still remains the same that he has not been able to stay healthy so far. So I don't think we should pay him. I do think we should look for some replacements in the offensive line. I think some certain players in the offensive line that didn't play much this season should be playing this season. Should be playing more next season, rather. But anyway, I think I've rambled on long enough. I'm probably going to edit this up a little bit. And there definitely is some positivity to get through, to have moving forward. We had a very travel happy schedule. We had a lot of road games to close out the season, and this team definitely played well through all of that. Definitely played a lot better in the second half of the season than they did the first half. And moving forward, I am watching the remaining playoff games as just a fan of football. I am really not that emotionally invested in hating the New England Patriots like some other fans of the NFL are. I don't hate the Patriots nearly as much as I used to. Obviously, I don't want them to win their 6th Super Bowl, but if they do, it's whatever. I don't hate them as much as other fan bases do. I live in the Pittsburgh area. I don't hate the Patriots nearly as much as Steelers fans do. I don't hate them as much as any fan in the AFC does. So I don't care if the Chiefs get a Super Bowl. Go ahead, Andy. Go ahead and get your ring. Time's yours to prove us wrong. I don't see the Rams winning a Super Bowl. I think the Eagles definitely exposed them. I don't think the Rams defense is very good at all. And as far as the Saints go, I wouldn't be surprised if they blow out the rest of their opponents. If they do go on to the win of the Super Bowl, good for them. I don't see them. I don't see them losing to the Rams. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they blow out the Rams. The past couple NFC championship games have been blowouts. And the Chiefs are going to have to play pretty much mistake-free football to beat the Patriots, in my opinion. And personally, I see the Super Bowl being the Saints and Chiefs. And whoever wins, wins. It doesn't really faze me too much. Anyway, that's all I've really got for the moment. I am a 2-for-4 Philadelphia fan. I only like the Eagles and Philly, so not going to be too emotionally involved in sports moving forward. Just going to follow the Eagles off season and see what the Phillies do. Hopefully, Bryce Harper becomes a Philly. And yeah, that's all I got. Final flash out.